Greetings and welcome to the EDU 709 Creating Innovative Uses of Technology Screencast. I am Brad Anderson and I am proud to bring you this presentation. I'm also very excited because on Monday my wife gave birth to our second daughter, Stella Mae Anderson. It's been a very busy week and I apologize for the tardiness of this presentation. But we just arrived home from the hospital later today. So I will take you through my innovative uses of technology project here as best I can. And hopefully you'll get a better idea of the creation project. First and foremost, a little bit about me. I teach American and World History. I also teach an elective called History Through Cinema, of which I teach one half semester course per semester. This is a little bit about me, born and raised here in Forest Hills. This is a suburb of Grand Rapids. Wonderful school, 1,300 students. I teach 10th and 11th graders, seniors in the elective course. I love history terribly. But I believe first and foremost, what's most important is building a classroom community. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. Is my innovative use of technology is all about building a positive, cognitive, and affective learning environment. I believe this is imperative. Before you crack a book, before you start notes, before you do a simulation, activity, discussion, debate, whatever the case may be, students need to have a clear expectation of conduct. Students must have a clear expectation of how they will treat one another and their classroom instructor and the people in the hallways and how they'll treat the hallways. My students know from day one, the first 5 days are spent on no subject matter whatsoever. Now, I take that back. 1 day is a content pretest. However, the content pretest I more or less use as a way to model how assessments will be done in my class. We model it after taking an ACT or an SAT. Bags in the back, pencils sharpened, number 2 pencils, nothing at their desks, no phones. And so everything in my class those first 5 days is all about establishing procedures and expectations. But the neatest thing that I do and that I added in my class in the last few years is what I use this technology for is a way to build a classroom community, and I'm going to tell you how I do that. If you take a look here, this is my classroom website. I have American history, world history, history through cinema, and as you can see, each course has their very own, very distinct symbol. The classroom symbol, for instance, this says the clapboard is the class symbol for the history through cinema. It represents work, care, and craftsmanship, what goes into a great movie, and so on. So every single assignment that I print has this icon on it, this symbol, so that when students know, at the back of the classroom where I set all my assignments out, your assignment must have this. It gets rid of a lot of clutter and confusion. I also do Monday motivation. I believe students on a Monday, believe it or not, high school students aren't as excited as one might think on a Monday morning to be in class. I take the first 5 minutes. We talk about current events. I call it my wall of fame. We talk about anything positive. It must be positive, and it must be in newsprint media, either online or, like I said, in a newspaper or on a reputable news source on TV. And they report on it, we vote on it, we put it on the board, a wall of fame, and I explain it to my other classes. They really enjoy it. Monday motivation is the favorite, however, and by about halfway through the year, students are emailing me and tweeting me these awesome clips. For instance, right here you have a poem, The Coming of Man in the World, Ella Wheeler Cox. I have, of course, the requisite Teddy Roosevelt, Man in the Arena. Here is an ode to Paul Harvey, So God Made a Farmer, adaptation of the official Ram Truck Super Bowl commercial, The Farmer. People Are Awesome, and an inspirational story about Teddy Stoddard, Save Olympic Wrestling. I am a varsity wrestling coach, so my students always know full well the history and background and merits of wrestling. But I use this as motivation. So anyhow, circling back towards my first few days. If you take a look at it, so here's world history. I'm going to use that as an example. Here's my, here's a syllabus. Okay, and the syllabus outlines basically what they're going to see online. In this case, world history. You have a vision, what students will be doing, I follow the Bloom's taxonomy. However, I'm migrating over to Marzano's new taxonomy. They have learning targets, what they're shooting for by the end of the year, and I have, a semester schedule. I have links, among other things. But the first thing my students undergo in my classroom is establishing these social norms. This is my classroom mantra: improvise, adapt, and overcome. It's something I adopted during my student teaching experience. I borrowed it from a very seasoned veteran of the classroom at Rockford High School, and ever since I've kept it, and students kind of they know it's my tagline, so to speak, and whenever there's a problem in class or there's an issue, I improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's go across my lips. But this is my basic slideshow, and it has been for some time, but it differs from year to year what I exactly say, and I tailor it to the times. I ask them, are they ready to learn? They can't just be a warm body in the classroom. I tell them a little bit about myself to humanize myself, but I'm more interested in who they are and what they stand for. I tell them this is a painting that hangs in my living room to remind me every day when I leave for school that not every day is going to be glory. Not every day is going to be the triumphant victory that we all want it to be. Some days we're going to be ragged, we're going to be tired. We're going to have bare feet, and we're going to have to press on in order to achieve victory. And I love this painting about with George Washington surveying his troops at Valley Forge. But the most important thing I talk about is expectations, and that's what leads me to my creation project. Students in this project are going to answer Robert J. Marzano's 6th design question: what will I do, or what will the teacher do to establish and maintain classroom rules and procedures? And there's simple action steps that go along with this. Organize the classroom, that's done. Establish a small set of rules and procedures. I have one rule: do nothing to hinder teaching or learning. And interact with students in the classroom rules and procedures. And here's where they interact with these rules and procedures. So the idea is they're going to get online with a partner in something called teamwork groups. And what TEAM stands for, TEAM, is together everyone achieves more. And then the teamwork group stands for welcoming, organized, respectful, and keeping on task. Those are the behaviors I want to see in a group of 4, sometimes 3 if there aren't enough people. And what they're going to do is they're going to answer these questions. Research and provide a brief history of the classroom symbol. So world history students would get online, I'd provide time, or they could use their smartphones or their iPads, and they'd look at the Corinthian helmet and they take what little they know, and then they would have to, given some resources, look and provide in 150 words or less what is the background of the Corinthian helmet. And this would actually be a springboard into our first topic, little do they know. Then they would look at the learning targets and they have to explain those in their own words: what would be easiest, what would be most challenging. Read the class vision, again, what is the easiest and most challenging. Beyond that, beyond what is outlined on the syllabus and online, I ask them this question. Here's where they really dive in: is what should be the social norms for the class? And here's where things get interesting. The students begin to build a class covenant, which essentially, after they build it within their own groups of 4, the groups of 4 report out to the class at large, and then the class at the end of the week, at the end of the first 5 days of class, they come up with a class covenant, which are 10 kind of social norms, or social norms, codes of conduct, if you will, for the classroom. And I pose it to them as this: if the if the principal were to walk in right now, and we're in the middle of a debate, what would it look like? If the principal were to walk in right now, and I'm delivering notes, what would it look like? If we're doing a teamwork group activity, what would it look like? And the students must come up with these 10 covenants, these 10 guidelines for how they're going to interact, and they come up with it and they sign off on it in a document that finally does get outlined and posted, not only on the website but for all to see in the classroom, and every single student must sign it. They also get to look at things online like the Survivor's Guide, and these are things that my other students have come up with over the years that kind of Andersonisms, so to speak. One rule: do nothing to hinder teaching or learning. Respect others, their opinions, their beliefs. These are things I say over and over again. Use the chain of command. And some of these end up being a part of the class covenant. Some of them don't. Some of the things are very original and very organic towards that the kids come up with. But either way, the students are interacting with the website. This is a Google website. My district is migrated completely to Google. We use Google Drive, as you see. Let me see here. I'll go to my Google Drive account. This is my Chrome tab. I love this quotations. These are some things that I think are cool. I enjoy quotes a lot, so I get to share those with my students. But my Google Drive, TweetDeck, that's another neat thing. But you go to my Google Drive. Taking a moment here. And of course, you see some of my different things: Great American Timeline, Man in the Arena, press release template, and a number of other items. I've got it. Go through and organize that. That's my my other account, my school account. I don't have access right now. But going back to the website, Survivor's Guide. So once they come up with the class covenant, I make them sign off on it, and those become the social norms. Now, the last creative use of technology, which I'm working on here, is click below for the Welcome Podcast. My plan is to, in the coming weeks, to come up with a Welcome Podcast. Now, the next assignment for them will be, within their teamwork groups, is after they have delved into building classroom norms, one of their steps after the classroom covenant is built is each teamwork group will write a script, choose hosts, develop segments, and they will do a 5 to 10 minute podcast, which will be uploaded to our specific site about their reaction to the classroom covenant, how happy they are with it, how they developed it, discussing and reflecting on their thinking, which I think is interesting for high school students to do, to reflect on their thinking. So again, the first 5 days of class, as you see, let's go to world history again. You go to my world history class page. If you look here, first day, intro syllabus training day. Expectations, student conduct, desk Olympics. I gotta add Olympics there. Pre-test, public speaking day. They don't know it, but this is the day that we do the class covenant day, where they think they're coming in to do some, make a speech, when in actuality what they're going to do is begin interacting with one another. They're going to be building a classroom covenant, social norms, and that's really important to me. So before content is ever delivered, before content is ever learned in the sense of the core curriculum, or the Common Core, excuse me, I set high expectations for classroom conduct. We develop rules and procedures, and we make sure that the students clearly understand how they need to interact. How do they treat one another? How do they build relationship with one another? How do they share and cooperatively learn with one another? It's very important to me moving forward that this is established. I say it, and I say it many times. I've never written a detention. I've never sent a student to the office. It's very important to me to develop a classroom community where they respect one another, they respect me as the teacher, and from there on out, it's smooth sailing. You can always let a little rain out as the year goes by, but to try and pull in the reins as the year goes, that's just not going to work as an educator. And so, running a tight ship, building a framework for the year that will work, building buy-in, getting the students to talk about what the classroom community should look like, it all works. And I highly recommend it to teachers to build a classroom website, to get the students interacting, talking about what they've learned on the website, what they've learned on the syllabus, and then like I said, using a podcast to reflect on their learning, post it so that next year students can listen and perhaps, like the Survivor's Guide, be inspired to build their own class covenant. And so that is, or was, the EDU 709 Brad Anderson's Screencast. I hope you've enjoyed it and maybe taken a little bit something from it. I know that I've learned a lot in this class and the innovative uses of technology. Signing off.